Hey guys, it's Alexandra from Cre8tion Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Buffalo Plaid single crochet ear warmer. I designed this ear warmer for Christmas in July. I was thinking Santa, but then I thought Buffalo Plaid would be really fun and it's just as cozy and Christmassy. I went with the traditional red and black, but you could also do gray, white, and black. Or you could change it up even more, do a light green and a dark green, or a light pink and a dark pink. This ear warmer comes in two sizes. It comes in one size that's going to be for toddler, child, and adult small, and then the second size is for adult large. They're all the same height. I do normally do two different heights, toddler being around 3¼ inches and the rest being at about 4. For my pattern to work out evenly here in the middle, I ended up just doing one size for all of them. It is 3¼ inches tall. It is a little bit shorter than I normally do for an adult size, but it still comfortably fits over the ears to keep them warm. So there's just going to be two different options for the chains, but the height is going to be the same for all of them. If you do want to make it taller, you can change the boxes so that they are 5 stitches wide by 4 stitches tall. You do the same 3 sections here with the black on the top and the bottom, and you're going to have an ear warmer that's about 4 inches tall. This is going to work out for 80 stitches around. For the adult large, it's not going to work evenly into the same stitches, and I think by going up to 90 stitches it's going to be too large. So if you do want to try it for the adult large, I might suggest just going up a crochet hook size and working the smaller size. I will put this information in the description box below if you're interested in trying it out. I am just going to be showing instructions for this size. For this ear warmer, you're going to need worsted weight yarn. That's a number 4 weight yarn. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver for mine. I just picked some yarn that I had in my stash. I have the color cherry red, burgundy, and black. And together with this, I'm using an H8 5mm crochet hook. This is my favorite crochet hook. I special ordered from Sienna's Boutique on Etsy. I have several of her hooks. They are really great and they're great quality. I will link it in the description box below if you're interested. Gauge is really important for this project, so you're going to need to have a soft tape measure, and if you're measuring smaller, you'll go up a crochet hook size, and if you're measuring larger, you'll go down a crochet hook size. So pull out your favorite worsted weight yarn, take your gauge, and then go from there. I will provide gauge as a stitch measurement across here, but if you don't want to work up a small sample and you just want to get started with your ear warmer, I would suggest working up at least 4 rounds and then measuring the total width of your ear warmer. That number times 2 is going to be the finished circumference, which is going to be about 2 inches smaller than your head size. So if your measurement is off when you measure the width, that means your finished piece is going to come out to a different size, and that's why gauge is so important, because you want to make sure that your ear warmer is going to come out to the correct size and fit correctly. There are 2 ways you can start this. You can start it with a chain, join that chain, and then work the first round into the chain. If you go this route, I recommend going up a crochet hook size to work the chain. Then after you slip stitch join, go back down to the original hook size and work the rest of it. This is going to help add a little bit of flexibility in there. Chains are more restricted on the fit, and that's why I recommend going with a foundation single crochet, which I will show you how to do, and it's not going to prohibit any of the stretch. Both options are going to work, so whatever you're the most comfortable with. You're going to find the written pattern for this linked in the description box below. Let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to show you how to work a foundation single crochet. Then I'll show you how to do it with a chain. So we're going to start with a slip knot first. I have the yarn pulled over my fingers, wrapped around my index finger 2 times, hold the tension with my thumb and my middle finger, pull the loop on the left up over the other one but not off my finger, pull the loop on the left now up over the other one and off my finger. Take my crochet hook, insert it into the loop on my finger and pull it off. Hold the working yarn in my right hand, short tail into my left, pull that so the knot goes to normal tension. Foundation single crochet means you're working a chain and a single crochet together. So both steps in one, you don't have to go back and work into the chain afterwards. To start, you're going to chain 2, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. This gets us started. This does not count as a stitch. Foundation single crochet is going to be worked sideways. So we're going to start building here to the left. The very first stitch is going to be worked into this first chain. We're going to insert our hook right into the center of the chain, yarn over and pull through. 2 loops on our hook right now, yarn over, pull through 1 loop only. That creates the foundation chain. Now we have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. That completes the single crochet. So foundation chain on the left, single crochet on the right. You can see it has that V shape of the single crochet. All the rest of them are going to be built the same exact way as I'm about to show you. Here on the left side, where that foundation chain is that we just finished, we're going to insert our hook right along the edge there, picking up both loops of that foundation chain. Yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 1 loop only. That creates the foundation chain for this new stitch. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. That completes the second single crochet. So we'll go down to that foundation chain that we just finished working. We want to insert our hook right in the center of it. When you're looking at it, you can see a left leg, you can see a right leg, and then you can see the top V shape of that stitch. So right in between that left leg and the right leg there in the middle, you want to insert your hook, breaking it in half, and that's going to pick up the 2 loops from the V shape of the chain. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 1 loop only. That completes the foundation chain. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops to complete your 3rd single crochet. Insert your hook on the left edge, picking up both loops from that V shape of the chain. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1 loop only, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Insert your hook into the stitch on the left, right in the middle of it, picking up the 2 loops from the chain. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Looking here on the right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets worked. I'm going to put up a chart showing how many stitches you're going to have depending on the size that you're working. I'm just going to work a couple more stitches here so I have a long enough chain, and then I'll show you how to join it. Alright, it's not super long, but I think it'll do. It's much easier not to twist the foundation single crochet than to do a chain. So we're going to go down to the very first stitch, bring it around so that we're creating a circle. I've worked in red so it's easy for you to see my stitches. But the ear warmer, I start with black. You can start with whatever color you want your bottom and top to be. But we are going to be switching, and we're actually switching to red, so I'm going to switch to a different color just so I can show you how to switch colors. But following the pattern, this would be black, and then we would be switching to this red color. Alright, so we have our circle shape here. Insert your hook into the very first stitch, picking up both loops from that V shape. So not the chain 2 here on the right side, but the very first single crochet. And if you're unsure exactly where it is, you can use these V shapes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to count backwards until you get down to 1. You'll insert your hook under both loops of that V shape. Then you'll hold the tension of your loops, drop your red, go to your new color. In this case I'm using this burgundy color, but it will actually be red if you're following the pattern. You want to form a loop, leaving a tail end long enough you can comfortably weave in, and you'll put this loop on your hook. This is going to count as the last yarn over of the stitch. Pull it through that stitch and through the loop on your hook. Now round 1 is complete in the red color, and we have the burgundy color on our hook. We can drop the tail, and now we're ready to go with a chain 1. Now I'm going to show you the second way that you can start this with a chain. After I get you started, then we'll jump right in at round 2 of the ear warmer. So we have our slip knot, and now we need to work a chain. To chain, we yarn over and pull through the loop on our hook. Yarn over and pull through the loop on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. This gives us 3 chains. Each one of these V shapes is a chain. 1, 2, 3. I'll put up a chart now showing how many chains you'll want to have depending on the size that you're working. And remember, I worked it in red so that it's easier for you to see my stitches. But the ear warmer that I made starts with black, so if you want black to be the bottom and top color, then you'll work your chain in black. The black is too hard to see on camera, so I wanted to show you how to slip stitch join and work into the back bumps using this red color. Your chain would be much longer than mine. This is just a small sample here. After you've worked your last chain, we need to slip stitch join to the very first chain at the bottom, and you want to make sure you don't twist your chain before joining. So looking at the front of our chains, we see the V shapes of each chain. The back side has these back bumps sticking out of the center. We want to make sure that the V shapes are facing up the whole entire time, so I like to just hold the top of my chain here in the right hand and run my fingers down the chain to keep it straight. Once you get to the end, then you're going to bring it around so you create a circular shape or a U. Insert your hook into the very first chain, right into the center of it, and then yarn over, pull through that stitch and the loop that's on your hook. That's going to be a slip stitch join, and that's how we join each round. And then looking at your chain, you can see that circular shape with all the V shapes facing upward, so we know our chain is good to go. The first row is going to be worked in black, and it's going to be single crochet stitches. We're going to chain 1. Because the ear warmer doesn't have a border on it, I suggest working into the back bumps for this first round so that it gives you a nice straight edge on the bottom with the V shapes of the chain aligning it on the bottom. So to work into the back bump, we rotate our chain, roll it forward so you can see that back bump. We'll work into this next chain here, not the stitch we slip stitched to, but the next chain after that. And you're going to insert your hook in between that back bump and the V shapes at the bottom. So insert your hook right in between, picking up just one loop on your hook, leaving the V shape of the chain flat on the bottom. Then yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. That completes a single crochet. Looking at the back bump of the chain, insert your hook in between that back bump and the flat part of the chain, right into the middle of it, picking up just that back bump on your hook, 1 loop on your hook, leaving the V shape of the chain flat there on the bottom. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Continue working on the back of the chain, insert your hook right into the middle, picking up just that center back bump on your hook, leaving the V shape of the chain flat there on the bottom. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. So right now we have 3 single crochets, each one of those V shapes on the top, that's a stitch. 1, 2, 3 single crochets worked. You'll continue working all of your stitches into the back bump of the chain. It can be a little tougher to work into, so just be patient as you go. Once you get back to the beginning, we'll slip stitch join. We'll change colors in that join. And you're going to finish with the same number of single crochets in this round as chains that you started with. So same exact number for both. I'm just going to rotate my fabric out, bringing the slip knot to the bottom. And now you can see that round shape. I'm going to go to the very first single crochet of the round. And if you're not sure which one it is, start at that last stitch that you just finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And continue working backwards until you're down to 1. And then you'll insert your hook under both loops of that V shape from the very first single crochet. We're going to switch colors here. So we do it in the last yarn over of the previous stitch, which is going to be the slip stitch. So I'm going to set this down. And if you're following with the pattern, your chain is going to be in black. You're going to be switching to red. So I'm just going to grab another color. You're going to form a loop, leaving a tail end long enough to comfortably weave in. Put this loop onto your hook. This is going to count as the last yarn over of the slip stitch. Then you'll pull it through that stitch and the loop that's on your hook. That's going to complete round 1 in the red color, or in the case of the pattern, in the black color. And then with your new color, you can drop the tail end, chain 1, and you're ready to go with round 2. Turn. To begin round 2, we're going to insert our hook into this very first stitch here, picking up both loops of that V shape, and complete our first single crochet. Our boxes are going to be worked in 4 stitches. So there's the first one. I'm going to single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So now I have 3. And then I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. I have 2 loops on my hook, and here's where I'm going to pause. This is the 4th stitch, which is going to be the previous stitch to the next stitch, which will be worked in a different color. And this is the last step of that stitch. The next step is yarn over and pull through. So we're going to do that in our new color. So I'm going to put this down so I can grab my other color. My other color is going to be maroon. So I formed a loop, leaving a tail end long enough to weave in. And I'm going to put this loop onto my crochet hook. This counts as the last yarn over of this stitch, and I'll pull it through. And that will complete the 4th stitch in the red. But now I'm ready to begin the next stitch with the maroon color. And if your stitch gets long, you can just tighten the tail end up and it will tighten that back down to normal tension. We're going to drop the tail end of the new color to the front side. This is going to be the wrong side, and we'll keep all our tail ends together. The color I just changed from, the red, I want to pull it over to the front side as well, and I'm going to crochet over that. I'm going to carry it along so I can switch back and forth as I work this round. So I'm holding the red up against my stitch on the front side. Because we're working from the wrong side, this tail end is going to want to pull to the back. You're going to want to keep it on the front side for this round. That way it's not visible from the right side. So I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, and when I do that, I have the red tail on my hook first and then the stitch, and then I'll complete my single crochet. Then I'll move the tail end over and work my next single crochet with my tail end first and then the stitch. Move it over again. This is going to be my 3rd single crochet. And now we're going to switch back to red in the next stitch. So I'll move it over again, insert my hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to hold the tension of the loops here with my right hand, drop the maroon to the back for now, pick up the red, yarn over with the red and pull it through. That completes my 4th stitch in the maroon, and now I'm ready to go in the red. Then I'm going to tighten down the maroon color so that last stitch goes to normal tension, bring it up and over here to the front, and hold it against the work so I can single crochet over it, keeping it here to this front side as best as I can as I work. And I'll work 3 single crochets in this red color. Then I'll start the first half of this next stitch. Stitch number 4 is where we switch colors back. Hold the tension of the loops with my right hand, drop the red to the back for now, pick up the maroon, yarn over with the maroon and pull it through to complete my 4th red stitch, and now I'm ready to go with the maroon. Tighten down the red stitch to normal tension and bring the tail to the front. And then I'll continue crocheting over it for 3 stitches. Work the first half of my 4th stitch, hold the loops, drop the maroon to the back, pick up the red, yarn over and pull through, tighten down the maroon, bring it to the front. And now we're ready to begin again. 3 single crochets in the red, switch in the 4th stitch back to the maroon, move the tail end to this front side. We're going to continue working in this manner all the way around until we get back to the beginning, and the last set that you'll work is going to be in maroon. And we'll slip stitch join together. I've worked up to the last step of my last single crochet here, and I'm going to go ahead and complete that. Now I'm going to slip stitch join to the very first stitch of the round, insert my hook under both loops of that V shape, yarn over, pull through that stitch and the loop that's on my hook. Then I'll chain 1 and turn, and I'm ready to begin again. As you're working, sometimes the second color that you're carrying pops through so much that you can see it from the right side. And you can see it really well here in the second sequence that I'm working, where you can see that bright red popping through the black and the black popping through the red. My secret for covering this up, instead of just inserting your hook in there, picking up just the 2 loops on your hook, insert your hook underneath that strand. So it's really easy to see where the strand is running. Just insert your hook right underneath it, and as you do that, you'll pick up that strand on top of your hook. Then complete your stitch and do it all the way across. Just gonna work one here in the red. And you can see here in the black that you can no longer see any of that red running through. When working with a small amount of stitches, like the 4 stitches here or 3 stitches, my preferred way to carry the yarn and to hide the yarn is how I've been showing you. But I wanted to show you one other way that you can carry your yarn when working from the wrong side, which is the back side, that will hide the carried yarn even better when looking from the right side, but it will leave floats on the back side. So I don't like to do this method because I don't like to see the floats on the back of my work. Something about the floats just bothers me personally. So I will either fasten my yarn off and reattach it, or I will carry it the way that I showed you and hide it the way that I just showed you. But let me show you this float method, and then you can decide which method you like the best. So I'm out of order here because I've already finished the tutorial and I wanted to go back and add this in here for you. Just pretend I've worked the first stitch working from the wrong side as normal over my tail. For the next stitch, you don't crochet over the tail. You just single crochet as normal. Then for the next stitch, you move the yarn up and you crochet over it. Then for the next stitch, you don't crochet over the yarn. I'll work the first half, drop the red, pick up the maroon, yarn over and pull through. I've completed those 4 stitches. Bring this tail end to the front here. And then when I switch the yarn, I don't like to crochet over the first one so that it sort of locks it in place. So don't carry this first one. Pull the yarn up and crochet over it for the second one. Don't crochet over it for the third one. Crochet over it for the fourth one. Work just the first half, drop the maroon, pick up the red. Bring the maroon to the front. Don't crochet over the first. Crochet over the second. Don't crochet over the third. Crochet over the fourth, and then you'll switch back in that one. So let's see it from the right side here. As you work more stitches, it'll be more noticeable, but you can see it here that you can't see any of the carried yarn at all popping through. This is the right side of our ear warmer, which is going to be the front side. The back side is going to have these floats that you see here every other stitch. So if you're okay with these floats on the back of your ear warmer, then this is a great method to use so that you can hide it without having to go that extra step when you're working from the front side to cover your stitches. And then if you do use this float method when you work from the right side, you do it the same exact way. You carry your yarn the whole entire time as you crochet around. Drop me a line in the comments below and let me know which method you prefer more. When you're looking at the stitches here, you're going to see what looks like 5 stitches in this maroon color. You want to line your stitches up so that the boxes are even. So looking here where the red and the maroon meets, that first maroon stitch there on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are the 4 stitches you want to work into. So right here where I just counted back to 4, that's where I'm going to work my first single crochet of the round. I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook here. Before I complete this stitch, if you look underneath you on the back side, you have that red tail you were carrying. You'll want to go ahead and pull that up and over your crochet hook so that you could crochet over it. Then complete your first single crochet. Continue holding it to the back side along the work. It should lay there very naturally since we're working from the right side. And complete the next 2 single crochets, crocheting over your tail end. Then we're going to switch colors in the next stitch, so I'll insert my hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on my hook, hold the tension of the loops, drop the maroon to the back, pick up the red, yarn over and pull through. My 4th maroon stitch is complete. Now I have the red on my hook and I'm ready to go into the next stitch, this time holding the maroon tail against the back of my work so I can crochet over it. And I'll continue working across here. In the last stitch here, insert my hook, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops in the red, hold the loops with my right hand, drop the red to the back, pick up the maroon, yarn over and pull through. The red is complete, I have the maroon ready to go, and I can work the next box holding the red tail against the back of my work so I can crochet over it. And I'll continue working all the way around until I get back to the beginning. My last 4 stitches are going to be worked in the red color, and then I'm going to slip stitch join. You'll want to stop periodically to untangle your yarn because it is going to tangle up really easy from changing every couple stitches. Once I get back to the beginning here, we'll slip stitch join together. Here's the last step of my last single crochet. Now I'm ready to slip stitch join to the very first single crochet of the round, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through that stitch and the loop that's on my hook. Then I'll chain 1 and turn, and again it looks like we have 5 stitches in the red color. We want to count from where the maroon and the red meet. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where our first stitch is going to be worked. Single crochet in there. Before you do that, you need to bring the maroon color up so that you can crochet over it, and hold it to the front side this time, which is the wrong side that your tail ends are on, as you crochet. Here's my 4th stitch. I have 2 loops on my hook, drop the red to the back for a moment, pick up the maroon, yarn over, pull through, pull down the red, pull it up and over to the front side, hold it against the front of the fabric, and work my crochets. And remember, it's going to naturally want to pull to the back side. Just keep it here held to the front side so you can crochet over it as you work. Two loops, hold the tension, drop the maroon to the back for a moment, grab the red, yarn over and pull through, tighten down the maroon, pull it up and over to the front and hold it against the work so I can crochet over it. Alright, and we're going to continue working all the way around until we get back to the beginning, and then we'll slip stitch join. My original plan was to make my boxes 4 stitches wide by 4 rounds tall, but after I worked 3 rounds I measured it and the height matches the width of each box. So the boxes are going to be 4 stitches wide by 3 rounds tall. I've just reached the end of round 4 here. I'm going to introduce black. This is a good point where you can put the ear warmer on to see how it fits. It is quite a bit to have worked up and frog if needed, but it's better to do so now than to continue and then find out it's too small. So you can either put it on and try it out. If not, I at least recommend measuring the width The width times 2 is going to be the circumference of the finished ear warmer, and that plus 2 to about 2.5 inches is going to be the head size that it's going to fit. Now that I know this is going to fit me well, I'm going to go ahead to the bottom and fasten off my black that I started with, and I'm going to reattach it up here. I didn't want to fasten off until I was sure it was going to fit, just in case I had to frog it. Alright, so here I'm going to drop the maroon tail to the front here, which is the wrong side where all the tail ends are. Then I'm going to insert my hook into that first stitch, and then I'm going to grab that black tail that I just cut, make a loop. I have a tail end long enough to weave in, put that loop on my hook and pull it through. Tighten up the maroon, bring the black tail to the front here, and then chain 1 with the black and turn. Now we're starting the next section here, which is going to be black boxes above the maroon, maroon boxes above the red. So I will be fastening off the red and not carrying it up. I'm going to insert my hook into this very first stitch, then I'm going to reach down, grab the maroon, bring it up and over my hook. This way I can crochet over it until I need it here, and I'll complete my first couple stitches. Now I'm going to switch to the maroon, and then I'll work a couple stitches in the maroon color. Switch back to the black, and now I can continue working in pattern with black stitches above the maroon and maroon stitches above the red. When I get back to the beginning here, I'm going to have maroon stitches over this red box, and then I'll slip stitch join, and I'm going to continue following in pattern, working 3 rounds of this new color sequence. Once I get to the end of that 3rd round, I will switch back so that the next color sequence will be red and maroon. I'm going to go ahead and fasten off this red now, and I'll reattach it later. And I'm going to work off camera until I'm ready to switch back to the original color sequence. Here I am at the end of my last maroon section, and before I slip stitch join completely, I'm just going to insert my hook as if to slip stitch, and then I'm going to grab the next color I'll be switching to. After we join, chain 1 and turn, we'll be working in the bright red. And I'll put this loop on my hook to count as my yarn over from the slip stitch. Then I'll pull through that stitch and the loop that's on my hook. Tighten up the maroon, drop the tail ends to the back. Then with the red color I can chain 1 and turn. I'll be carrying the maroon color over. In this last stitch I'll switch back to the maroon. And I'm going to go ahead and fasten off the black now. Leaving a tail end long enough I can comfortably weave in. I can untangle that. And now I'm ready to go again with these 2 colors. I'm going to work 3 rounds working this color sequence. And when I get to the end of this 3rd round, then I'll be back with you. And now I've reached the end of my 3rd color section. I'm going to go ahead and complete this last single crochet. I'm going to insert my hook as if to slip stitch, and then I'm going to grab black. I'm going to finish off this ear warmer with black. I'll put it on my hook and pull it through. Tighten the maroon. Chain one with the black and turn. Now I'm just going to finish this off with one black single crochet into each stitch all the way around. When I get to the end, then I'm going to slip stitch join to the very first stitch. I've made it around. I have one more stitch left here to work. Then I'm going to bring these tail ends to the inside with the rest of the tails and slip stitch join to the very first stitch. And now this ear warmer is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and fasten off the black, pull up on that loop to break it, insert from the wrong side to the right side into the same stitch I just slip stitched to, yarn over and pull the tail end to the back side. I also need to go in and fasten off the reds. Now I have several ends to weave in, so that will be my last step. And then this will be ready to go. Most of the ends are going to be worked exactly the same way, so I'm just going to show you a couple. I've threaded here with the maroon color from this box here. As I work my passes, I'm going to do them all the same way, 3 passes. That's my magic number. If you feel comfortable after 2, you can fasten off. If you feel like you need to work a 4th one, go ahead and do it. It's whatever you feel the most secure with your end. I also don't pick up the whole entire stitch on my needle. Instead, I insert right into the center of it, breaking it in half. I do this when I insert and when I exit, and this is going to help capture my yarn better. I also am going to run my stitches vertically here, not horizontally. In this ear warmer, we need it to stretch horizontally to fit our head, so we don't want to work our weaves horizontally so that it doesn't prohibit any of the stretch. I'm going to insert my needle into a nearby stitch, breaking it in half, and I'm going to run it up under several stitches. I like to hold the fabric here with my thumb and my middle finger, that way it doesn't bunch up my fabric as I pull through. Give it a tug. Use my fingers to manipulate the fabric if I need to make sure it lays flat. And then I'll work in the opposite direction, inserting into a nearby stitch, breaking it in half, run back through several of those stitches I just worked, and break my last stitch in half as I exit. Hold the fabric, pull, give it a tug, use my fingers to manipulate the fabric. You don't want it to bunch up, you just want it to lay naturally. One more pass for me, inserting into a nearby stitch, running through several of those stitches I just worked, and breaking that last stitch in half as I exit. Give it a tug, manipulate the fabric, and now I'm ready to fasten off. I'm going to do that with all the rest of the ends here from the middle section, working them into their respective color sections. For the black up here on the top, I'm going to work the one on the right over to the left and the one on the left over to the right. And there's only one round here to work into, so I'm going to work a bit horizontally here, but I'm going to try to keep it vertically. So I'm just going to run it under 2 stitches here so it will get me past that other tail end. And I'll wrap it around this next stitch. And now I'm going to go to the stitch to the right, insert my needle in there, and run it upward just in a small area here. So I'm still trying my best to work vertically so I don't bunch up any of the stitches or prohibit any of the stretch. Hold the fabric, give it a tug, use my fingers to manipulate the fabric. Then I can insert into a nearby stitch up here on the top and run it back down through several of those stitches. There's not many there, but I'll run it from top to bottom. Give it a tug. Use my fingers to manipulate the fabric. And I feel pretty good about that, but I'm going to go ahead and work this third pass anyway. And as you're working, if it's too tight and it hurts your fingers, jewelry pliers are a great tool to have. You'll want to make sure the eye of the needle is flat, facing up, so you can see directly down it. Use the flat part on the pliers to grab your needle, hold the fabric, and pull it through. And just be careful not to pull too hard because it can break the eye of your needle. And then I'll fasten off. I'll do the same thing with this other black tail going in the opposite direction. And then the only thing that's left is down here where I started. Alright, I've weaved in most of the ends there. I'm going to go ahead and connect this bottom section from where I worked my foundation single crochet. If you worked a chain and joined it, then your fabric is going to be connected there. But with the foundation single crochet, you need to connect it. So I want to turn my earwarmer to the right side. Take my needle, insert from the wrong side to the right side into the very first chain, and pull it through. Then I'll run it from the right side to the wrong side into the last chain here. Pull it through. And just like that, my fabric is connected. Now I just need to weave it in here. I'll go ahead and do that and these other two off camera. And now our earwarmer is ready to wear. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. You'll find the crochet pattern for it linked in the description box below. Please smash that like button and hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.